everybody.
Hello.
So Angus and I were talking about how sometimes, hopefully less frequently now than in the past, but I can get irritable with you when I think you're not listening to me.
Yes, testy.
Do you have something you want to say about that?
Well, yeah, I think this is classic for us, is that you think I'm not listening, but it's more a case of I've got a slower processing speed than you. And also the way that information comes forward, or you might ask me a question, kind of feels for me like I'm joining up the dots, I'm trying to figure out what the hell you're talking about. And a case in point would be you saying, have you spoken to Dave yet? And this will come out of the ether very randomly, and usually early in the morning when I'm not at my quickest. And I'm like, in my mind, it's like, which Dave is she talking about of the many Daves that we know? So it might be, in your mind, Dave the gardener who needs to trim back the bougainvillea so the postman can get it the post box, or the mailman, as they say in this country.
Carrier.
The letter carrier. And so I'm desperately trying to figure out who Dave is. And in the meantime, while I'm figuring that out, you'll throw 3 more questions at me, and it might be one, for argument's sake. You know that we've don't forget we've got the PTA meeting on Thursday. And so I may be probably nodding, and really I'm just trying to sort of like keep away. I'm trying to figure out who Dave is. And so I haven't heard the important statement around the PTA meeting. So come Thursday, Rohini comes back to the house, and I'm walking around in a stupor, and she's like, "Are you ready for the PTA meeting?" I'm like, "What PTA meeting?" She said, "I told you there was a PTA meeting." And I'm like, "No, you didn't." And
I'm like, "Yes, I did."
And it's because I couldn't hear that, because I was trying to figure out who Dave was.
But all that's happening internally. I have no idea what's going on for you.
Right. Well, and anyway, the net result of that is that then you'll accuse me of not listening, and then I, in my separate reality machinery in that moment, because I'm feeling a bit anxious, is thinking, wow, you think I'm really stupid. Like, I'm convinced you think I'm stupid. That's the message that's coming across to me. That's what I'm seeing and hearing.
Right. So in your reality, I'm thinking you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And in my reality, I'm feeling hurt because I feel like I'm not important enough for you to listen to.
All right.
So that's our separate realities.
And then there's something in that moment when we get sort of more enmeshed in our separate realities. It just becomes bigger and bigger, that mess.
Well, especially if we're communicating from our reality, because I'm communicating from that place of, hurt that you're not listening to me, and you're thinking I'm calling you a moron. So it doesn't ever go well.
It doesn't. The dance of death begins.
That's right. But you have a great separate reality story about Sachi and Sachi. Remember that one?
Oh, when I came to LA?
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that. So I get this great advertising gig, and I have to fly to LA, and I'm really like, it's just like definitely a lap of luxury gig, and I'm flown to LA first class. I'm put in this amazing hotel. It's my first experience of being put in an amazing hotel. And I tell you, just as an aside, a funny story, I thought that I could just eat at the minibar for 3 days.
Why? Why did you want to eat?
I know, the hotel was so amazing. I just didn't want to leave it. It was so cool. So I was like,
the hotel didn't have a restaurant?
I think also I thought that the client was going to pick up the bill. They did have a restaurant, and I was ordering room service, but also I cleaned out the minibar. And I got like a $600 bill at the end of the 3 days. Taught me a lesson very quickly. Anyway, that was just as an aside.
Were you drinking it too?
I drank, I definitely drank. I had some drinks too. And it was also, I think the OJ thing was going on at the same time. That's why I couldn't leave the hotel room. That's why. Anyway, that's another story. But so I do this job, and the job went pretty well. But I had to trust the assistant that I hired, and he seemed very knowledgeable. He's definitely I had it on good authority that he was a top drawer assistant. So I entrusted him, for argument's sake, with finding me the best black and white lab, because the shoot was in black and white. And he said, yeah, this is the best lab to go to in LA. And I actually allowed him I just gave him all the film, told him how I wanted it processed, what I wanted it to look like. And because there was such a quick turnaround, and the clients were leaving to go back to Asia that day, that evening, I had to get the film processed immediately after the shoot and hand it to them before they left for the airport. Anyway, so he brings the contact sheets to the room, and they just look really flat. There's no contrast in them at all. So presentation-wise, they were just so far removed from what I wanted them to look like. And I just got into a really low mood about that. And from that low mood, it just literally I went to the worst case scenario, that I'm never going to work again. I'm never going to get a gig like this again. And these look awful. This shoot is a total write-off. So within the space of, I think, about 45 minutes, because I had to hand them over to the clients, I thought, I'm just going to sneak down to the lobby, give them to the front desk, and have them delivered to their room. And as I'm sneaking down to the lobby and walking through the lobby, there they all are, sitting around a coffee table in their easy chairs, sipping cocktails. And the art director goes to me, are those the pictures? And I'm like, yes. And I have to hand them over, and I'm just waiting while she opens the envelope and puts them all out on the coffee table. I wanted the ground to swallow me up. Such was my separate reality. And they look at them, and it's like the best thing they've ever seen. They're in raptures about them. So it was just so bizarre to me that I just really, in my mind, it was the worst thing I'd ever done. Just because they looked a little flat, that was all. They could have been, I would have had them, redo the context, but there wasn't the time to do that. But just presentation was everything in my mind. So in my reality, I was never going to work again.
And they loved them.
Loved them.
Well, I love that example. It's a funny story too. I can just imagine being in sweat worrying about that. And but it happens every day. Really.
It does.
We all live in our own thought created reality. We see our own thinking, and it's easy to forget that you're not seeing my thinking, you're seeing your thinking. But then when I get curious about your realities, I'm always pretty amazed at your reality.
It's quite entertaining,
isn't it?
Getting inside my head.
Your reality is oftentimes a lot more fun than my reality. I'm like, really? You think that? So less arguing.
Next door's dog agrees too. Well, maybe our dog is now taking offence at that interruption.
I don't even know if they can hear the next door talking.
Probably not. I can. That's another one of my realities kicking in.
It's like your bionic ear kicking in.
Yes.
All right, well, have a great weekend, everyone. I'm actually in Charlottesville this weekend at the Awesome event, speaking there.
It is an awesome event?
It is.
Is it going to be awesome? I think it's a bit presumptuous to say it's awesome without it having...
Of course it's going to be awesome.
Oh, it's the awesome event, as in terms that's the title of the event.
That is the name of the event. I'll put the link in.
Better be awesome then.
I'll put the link in the vlog just in case anyone's interested. And I also have a $200 discount code if anyone wants to get virtual or live tickets. So, see you.
Apply now and you'll get a free set of steak knives thrown in.
And something.
And...
a Teflon pan.
Yes, at least.
And a signed autograph by Angus.
Well, I think we better stop now.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.